So what exactly does the Scrum Master do? Some organizations and some developers, they feel like Scrum Masters are useless in a team because they are not really technical or not technical at all. They are not building, you're not building the product. You are not deciding what we should build. That is the work of the product owner. You are not building the product. That is the work of the engineers or the developers. So what is your work? What are you doing in this company? What are you doing as a Scrum Master? But the Scrum Master plays a very, very, very important role in making sure that the process is smooth. Developers have good relationship with the product owner. Developers have everything they need. Now, let's take this for an example. As an example, if the product owner is giving a feature to the developers to build, for example, let's say the engine or the tires, and then you just say, I want 4 black tires, and then you just give it to developers to build. There is no information. You just want 4 black tires. What is your acceptance criteria? What is your description? What is your definition of done? What exactly do you want them to work on? If you are not giving that to the developers, then the work will be fruitless. The Scrum Master is there to ensure that all the features, all the tasks, they are well described, they have correct acceptance criteria, and there is clear definition of done. This is what will help the developers to work smoothly. The Scrum Master is also there to coach the team, to train them, to make sure that they follow the Scrum principles, to make sure that Scrum is followed diligently, to make sure that when they are working with the Scrum values in mind. The Scrum Master is also there to remove external distractions. Sometimes product owners might not be able to say no to the stakeholders. The Scrum Master should be able to say no to the stakeholders. Imagine if they are building the car and they have 4 weeks. They are in the second week. Imagine if they are building a feature of a car. They have 4 weeks to build maybe 2 or 3 features, and they are in the second week, and then the stakeholder is bringing something entirely different that does not relate to building the car. If it is not really important, the Scrum Master should say no, because the Scrum Master is the one in charge of, the task and the sprint. He or she should say no. That is how you protect your team, because when you keep on giving developers something to do, the stakeholder said we should put this in the sprint, they tire out, burn out, they become very tired, things become really uninteresting to them. So it is good to allow developers focus on what they have committed to achieving in a particular sprint. The Scrum Master is also there to remove blockers. So I said before that developers can remove impediments by themselves, but there are some impediments that developers might not be able to remove. For example, if as they are building the car, they need a paint and the paint supplier is running late or has not yet supplied paint, the Scrum Master is there to make sure that paint gets to the developers as at the time that they need it. That is the work of a Scrum Master. That kind of impediment is what the Scrum Master helps the team to remove. Scrum Master might not know how to write codes, might not know how to do things that are really, really technical or that has to do with building a car. But there are some impediments that the developers might not be able to handle on their own, and they need the Scrum Master to help them handle it. And then the Scrum Master also helps to facilitate effective Scrum ceremonies, like the sprint demo, the sprint retrospective, the daily stand-up, the sprint planning. Things like this needs to be, they don't need to be boring. For example, your sprint retrospective should not be what did we do well in the last sprint? What did we not do well? What can we improve on? Every single sprint retrospective, your engineers will be tired, they'll be bored. You need to spice things up. You need to bring them out of their shell. because these people are naturally reserved. They only write codes and then whatever it is they want to do. I mean, when I mean they are reserved in the workspace. They only want to work and then go. But some of these developers are very funny. You need to bring out their funny side. You need to make these things fun for them. Let them make sure they are always looking forward to attending these meetings. That is exactly what the Scrum Master does in a team. The Scrum Master does a whole lot. So sometimes when I hear that organization says, "Oh, we don't need a Scrum Master," that is not too good. And then the Scrum Master is also there to make sure that everything is clean on maybe the task, the features are well arranged. The product owner knows, okay, I need you to give these developers exactly what you want them to build and how you want them to build it, and make sure it's in order of priority. So the Scrum Master does a lot in a team.